Hi everyone and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Rosanna and today we're making a delicious, meaty, traditional pozole that's about to become your favorite. I'm ready. I hope you're ready. Let's put on our aprons. And let's get started. For the meat, we will be using 4 pounds of pork spare ribs and 1.5 pounds of pork backbone. Also rinse and drain 1 large can that contains 110 ounces of hominy. Over high heat, add 24 cups of water into a large pot and allow them to boil. Once boiling, add in both cuts of the pork. Both of the cuts have the bones, which is great because they will naturally release more flavor. The bones will also help you know when the meat is done because they will release easily if not on their own. At this point, we will also add the hominy. Carefully pour it in and also add 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm not adding too much salt because we will be cooking this for a long time and we do not want to oversalt it. Let it reach a boil once again. Then lower to medium-low heat, cover and let it cook for approximately 2.5 to 3 hours or until the meat is fall off the bone tender. While that's cooking, let's get started on the sauce. Take 8 chiles guajillos, 4 chiles puya and devein them. Since you will be handling chilies, if you want you can use kitchen gloves. Removing the seeds will help lower the heat content, but if you enjoy the natural mild heat that comes from the guajillo and the spicier touch the puya adds, you can omit deveining. I'm also incorporating 2 chiles de árbol for an extra touch of spicy flavor. You can also omit the chiles de árbol if you want to, or add more if you want it spicier. It is up to your preference. Once done, let's toast them. I've talked about this step many times now since it's crucial we toast and not burn them. Toast over the lowest setting you have available. The surface of the comal or pan should be warm and not hot. Turn them constantly, making sure both sides are evenly toasting. Remove them from the surface as soon as they start to release their fragrance. The aroma is hard to miss. If you see any dark spots, it is a sign that they have started to burn. Burnt chilies will ruin your sauce and make it extremely bitter. Now clean them by rinsing with water and let them drain. For the sauce, you will also need 4 large garlic cloves. Also dice 1 small white onion into medium-sized pieces. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now in a pan over medium-low heat, pour in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and add the onions. Stir to saute and also incorporate the garlic cloves. Keep stirring until the onions begin to soften. By now the meat should have been cooking for about an hour. Take a heat-proof container and carefully remove 2 cups of the broth and add it to the softened onions. Now add the chiles, and I like to cut them with a pair of kitchen scissors if I feel they are a little too big for the pan. Incorporate them well into the hot liquid and remove from the heat. Allow the chiles to soften and rehydrate. I really enjoy the contrast of the color between the onions and the guajillos. They look magical. Allow the onion mix to cool down before blending. The guajillos are soft and the mix had enough time to cool down. Now transfer the chiles and onions to the blender. We are also going to add 1.5 teaspoons of dry Mexican oregano. Cover it well and start blending until your sauce has no chunks of any kind. Or if you can't get it that smooth, you can strain it as well. Our meat has been cooking for about 1.5 hours total, and we are now ready to add the sauce. Before we add the sauce, take 1 cup of the broth out of the pot because we will need it later on. You want to add the sauce halfway cooking to allow it to develop a much deeper flavor and release it into the broth, hominy, and meat. Pour in the 1 cup of the broth we set aside into the blender. Swirl around and pour back into the pot. We want to make sure we use all of the guajillo puree. We don't want to waste any of it. Watch how it turns into a beautiful red color. This is where a lot of the flavor comes from. Stir evenly so the sauce can fully incorporate with the broth and meat. Then add 2 bay leaves for fragrance and even more flavor. Cover the pot and let the cooking process continue. While that's happening, we are going to take advantage of our time and prep the toppings. Starting with finely dicing jalapenos, you can remove the seeds if desired for less heat. Jalapenos add a mild heat together with its bright green flavor to this dish. Always present when serving pozole is white onion as well. Also go ahead and finely dice it. Shred 1/3 of a small sized cabbage. Make sure you wash and drain it well. You can also substitute it with lettuce, both work fine, but my family and I mostly use cabbage for its unique flavor and the crunchiness. It's also worth mentioning that while lettuce works fine, cabbage will remain fresh much longer when placed in your pozole. Quarter a lime. Wow, look at how beautiful our fresh toppings look. It screams fiesta. Additionally, I have added to the topping list sliced radishes, avocados, dried Mexican oregano, and tostadas. We will cut and dice the avocados later on to preserve its freshness. Now let's check on our pot. This looks and smells great. Another way to know it's done is by simply making sure the meat is fall off the bone tender and the hominy is soft to the bite with a slight firmness. This pozole took a total of 2.5 hours and it is done to perfection. At this point, taste it and add salt to taste. Make sure to add enough so all the flavors developed bloom and open up. Pozole is a dish very much present in our family gatherings. It's one of our go-to recipes for special occasions or anytime we crave it, which is very often. Great food does not have to be limited to big occasions. Even if it's only a few of us, we are always able to connect, enjoy a meal, and have fun. Creating memories through food is a privilege we don't take for granted, and I hope this recipe helps you bond with your loved ones as well. To serve, pick your favorite bowl and fill it with pozole. Top it with the dried oregano. What we typically do is place it in between our clean hands and rub it until all the leaves are broken down and then release over the pozole. Follow this step by adding the onions, jalapenos, cabbage, and squeeze lime over it as well. Try not to skip on the lime because it does enhance and marries everything together. The toppings are very important because they add textures and flavor. They are a must when enjoying pozole. Also add the radishes and mix everything until well incorporated and enjoy with a crunchy tostada. Look at how tender this meat is. The bone is literally falling off. Almost forgot, add the diced avocado. We consider avocado a luxury. I don't know why, it just makes the meal that much special. I love tasting time. But before I do so, as always, I want to invite you to subscribe, like this video, and don't forget to click the notification bell. Let's go ahead and dig in. All right, so we're gonna accompany this with tostadas. It cannot get more traditional and comforting. This is a recipe my family and I enjoy whenever we have special occasions or just any day we feel like coming together, having a good time, and enjoying some really good food. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. Remember that you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing rest of your day.